Hello, my PC students. This is the fourth review now, and this is going on a boat increase. So here I have boat 1, so I'm going to drag it down and let's go to about boat 10. All right. The price of boat 1 was $25,000. Let's put in $30,000 here and have a pattern. So there's our pattern, and we will drag down. All right, and the same thing here. I have a pattern 1, 2, and we're going to increase the price up to 6%. Okay, so now did you see my pattern, how I have $1 sign, not the other one? So all I have to do is go to my home tab, double click on my paintbrush, and paint the ones that we don't want with no dollar sign. Okay, all right, so now what we want to do is we're saying that the price is going to increase by 1%. Okay, so we have equals, and I've got to take my price plus, and the increase means a growth, so open your parentheses, the price times 1%. All right, now what do we have to remember here is that we must always stay in the column because we've always got to use the selling price. So we have to freeze the column and make sure your dollar sign's in front of the B. Freeze the column here, the dollar sign in front of the B, but here we got to multiply by the percentage, and the percentage goes in the row, so we have to freeze the row. So make sure the dollar sign is in front of the row. All right, so now 1% would be $25,250, which is right. Drag down, and now you're going to drag to the right, and in seconds you're done. Right? So now I'm going to highlight your cells, double click, and we don't want the dollar sign all the way down here, so we are just going to right click, go to Format Cells, and say Accounting, no dollar sign, and still leave your 2 decimal places. Okay, so now if I asked you to total the cost of those 10 boats with the different things, we could click here, hold down the Shift key, and go Alt equals, and press Enter. Oh, pardon me, I don't need to press Enter, but I need to widen my columns. And we have a total there. So if we did ask for a total, you could do that. Whoa, 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 my T didn't go in. Okay, so that's how easy it is to do that. And let's take a look here. And do you see here? Note how that every time I see here, you stay in column B. You never went out of row 4. Column B, row 4. Column B, row 4. Look at the blue. Column B, look at the blue. Row 4. Column B. So you stayed in those rows, but you moved. You moved from C to D to E to F to G to H. And here, as we move down, you always stayed in column B. Column B, column B, column B. All right, so that's quite easy once you understand that piece. So let's save it. That's it. And then we'll close that one out. File close. And now I want to go to number 12 here. Okay, so on this one, you're going to shovel driveways. You know the snow is coming up. All right, so we got driveway number 1 is 18. I'm going to use a pattern here. So I'm going to drag down, and there's driveway 8. And the same thing, I'm going to use a pattern here and drag down to there. But I've already got numbers in there, so that one's okay. All right, now what is the area? How do you find area? Equals your length times your width, right? Okay, and so you had 180 square feet. All right, so there we have that. And now it says the time required to shovel. All right, so I'm going to put in equals, and I'm going to have my 180 divided by the number of square feet that I can do in an hour, and I can do 100 square feet. So B12 has to be absolute because everyone's got to be compared to the shoveling 100 square feet per hour. All right, so that's 1.8 hours, and then if I drag down, there I have. Now, what would be the total hours? I would go here, and I can do the total area I'll do both of them. Alt equals. Okay, so the total area was 2,462, because I can do 100 square feet per hour, 24.62 hours. All right, the only thing, do you see here that we haven't got accounting format? Okay, so on here, I'm going to put in, highlight these, right click, format cells. We want accounting format with no $ and 0 decimal places. Now, do you see the comma come in? Did you see everything jump? Now, this one here, yes, we want accounting format. Accounting, we don't want a $ because it's hours, but we do want 2 decimal places. That's okay. So we'll choose that, and now we've got it into 2 decimal places. So that's what we want there. So save it if you haven't already saved it. And then we will close it out. Go to File, Close. And the last one is teaching number 13. Okay, so now we see a pattern here, item number. Okay, I didn't need to make it that wide. And highlight it, and you're used to doing patterns now. That's pretty easy. All right, the same with the cost here. I don't need the $, so I'm going to paint those out. That's good. All right, if your cost is $50 and you're marking it up 50%, what's your selling going to be? So equals, and you got to take your cost price. Now, plus, because you're marking it up, open your parentheses, your cost times 50%. And 50% you know has to be absolute, because everyone's going to be marked up 50%. And we also have to stay in this column, all right? So we want to go F4 and freeze the column. Okay, and F4 and freeze the column. All right, that's good. Press enter, and you got $75. 50 plus half of that's 25 would give you 75. So that's good. That's easy for you. And once again, we do not need the $ here, so take them out. Okay, so now you get a commission rate of 10%, 15, 20, and 25. So we have to say equals, and we have to take our selling price times 10%. Now, what do we remember? We have to stay in row 4 because we've got to be able to go D, E, F, G. So row 4 has to be frozen. So the $ in front of the 4. Now, column C, you have to stay in there, so you have to freeze the column. All right, now you're set up. Okay, so grab your fill handle, drag down, and drag to the right. All right, I need a $ here, so I'll go across and put my $ in. All right, let's take a look at this. Okay, so now you see that you're always using the selling price, the blue, in column C. Column C, column C, column C, column C. And look, you didn't go out of row 4. Row 4, row 4, row 4, row 4. So very easily you've picked that up, and you can do that quite handily. All right, let's go Control F single quote there. Everything looks good, so let's save it. And that's it. We will stop there. So remember, when it says as compared to, as a part of, as a portion of, as a share of, all of those mean divide. So look in the front of your yellow book, and that is given to you. So make sure you go over that for your test. And you know freeze the row, freeze the column. You also know absolute. So I think that's everything. So I will stop there now.